And welcome back to the Headbangers Ball, where we've just stepped away from the studio to catch up with two of your favourite bands. Now, a little bit later on, we'll be meeting up with Ben Matthews from Thunder to talk about the controversy surrounding the band at the moment. But, of course, you recognise the gentleman who's joined me now. It's Blackie Lawless of W.A.S.P. So, welcome to England, Blackie, because we last met up in sunny LA. How are you feeling?
A little jet lagged, but other than that, I'm okay. It's like punch me if I fall asleep.
Now, there's actually a lot to talk about W.A.S.P. Because when we were in LA, we covered the Greatest Hits album and the upcoming video. But there is actually some very important news concerning the band. Would you like to tell everybody what you've decided?
1993 has been a very interesting year for me. I've gone through a lot of personal changes, some professional, and I feel like some sort of coming over here, not just to do this show, but coming to Europe in general, I feel like some sort of messenger of death. W.A.S.P. will be no more after this. And I have very mixed emotions about it. I've just reached a stage in my career and my life where it's time for me to move on. I don't feel that I can accurately make the steps that I want to make as a songwriter under the moniker of W.A.S.P. anymore.
Right.
This is very difficult.
I'm sure, well, I can imagine after
10 years,
10 very successful years, of course. I was wondering that for the Crimson Idol album, your last album, you did try and do something very, very different in trying to accomplish that, and was that part the first sort of stages of when you thought, right, maybe I should be doing something different?
As far as fruition, yes. I knew that W.A.S.P. in its true original state, and Chris is who I'm referring to, when we were making the Headless Children record, I knew at that point that that was the last record that I would make with him. But as far as the Crimson Idol goes, the message behind it, is very personal, but what it started out being and what it ended up being is two very different things. And to try to continue to fly under that moniker or that name when it's not really that anymore, I'm very uncomfortable with doing that. And again, maybe this is presumptuous, but when you reach a stage that, like I said, where as many head trips as I've gone through in the last 9 months, I just feel that the time has come for me to make this move.
Do you think that people, because of the W.A.S.P. name and all that you'd achieved before, that people found it difficult to accept W.A.S.P. doing something a bit different, and that's part of the reason why you need to leave that behind?
See, one of the problems with us in all of our glory was that people had a tendency to listen 50% with their eyes as well as their ears. And that's understandable. I mean, you know, that's something that I created. And it's not that, you know, we're trying to lay blame anywhere or anything like that. You know, I look back at these last 10 years and I was thinking about it the other day. It's like the Grateful Dead song. I was like, what a long, strange trip it's been. And it's been a good one. And, you know, I don't want to go out like an athlete, you know, that's broken down and should have stopped a couple of years before, or to try to make it anything that's more dramatically different than what the Crimson Idol was. It's time to lay that thing down now, and it's, like I said, this is one of the hardest decisions I've ever had to make, and I'm still not real comfortable with it yet. But, you know, the problem is like with any relationship, whether it's a man or woman or a band or whatever, you wake up one day and you look across the room and you say, I don't know that person anymore. And you find that you don't have anything in common musically or personally. And when that happens, it's time to go your separate ways. There is no place to lay blame. It is what it is.
Right. Well, you are finishing on a high point with the Greatest Hits album, First Blood, Last Cuts, and also the video, First Blood, Last Visions. And actually, we've got a new song from W.A.S.P coming up, Sunset and Babylon, the new single. Now, that does seem a fitting way to close the W.A.S.P chapter, because the B-sides of those singles feature some early demos from W.A.S.P.
Right.
So that must be a very good way of
demos,
the original
yeah.
demos. So a way to say, to close the book.
There's also another song on the album called Rock and Roll to Death, which is the last song, and I thought that was very apropos. But something that's on a high note, I mean, most everybody that knows me knows I'm not at a loss for words, and to sit here and see me struggle trying to get sentences out, I know is difficult for them as well. But on a positive side of it, one of the things that's been a constant thorn in my side from day one with the band was that the song Animal was never on an album.
And it is
that
now.
will be on this now.
Right.
So it's not, a cure-all for the original thing that griped me, but it is a pretty handy Band-Aid at the end of it.
I see. Okay, well, we're going to talk to Blackie some more in just a moment, and of course we are going to find out what he's going to be doing in the future. But right now we're going to see the brand new video and a new song from W.A.S.P, and this is Sunset and Babylon. And we'll see you a bit later on.